Hey, everybody. This live stream is supported by our friends at Mitrospec. They've been part of the Kratom community since 2015, and they've built such a great reputation. They're all about transparency, being consistent with quality. They're huge advocates in our community. I love that. And they truly care about their customers. So I just want to give them a shout out. Their batches are all third-party lab tested, which we all feel is so important, right? I mean, I only buy from companies that do that. And they actually ship out on the same day. So you're always going to get fast shipping from them. I love that. And they're known for like all kinds of cool blends. I really dig that. And they're big with the vegan capsules. I know we've had lots of discussions about the whole capsule thing and that the vegan capsules are the better one because they digest better. So I love that they do all that. They're such big supporters of our community and the things we do here at the Kratom Gals. And so you can get 40% off anything in their store with code Kratom Stories. You heard me, 40% off. So just head over to mitrospec.com. So a big shout out and thank you to Sarah and Dan. Sarah was on the podcast recently. Dan is coming up soon. There's an episode with him that I can't wait for y'all to hear. So welcome to our Kratom Gals live stream. You may be wondering what's going on with our YouTube. Well, I'm in a YouTube timeout for 2 weeks. We're 1 week into it. We got one more week until my regular YouTube will be back. But right now we're broadcasting to my backup YouTube. I set one up called Kratom Real Talk. So hopefully y'all are able to watch us there. I know we're also I think Venus has us on YouTube as well. And Christopher has us over on X. So we appreciate all the help getting this spread out. So also, if you're not familiar with the Kratom Gals and what we do here, this is basically your weekly dose of real talk, real stories, and all of our relentless advocacy. We're all big advocates here. We're just trying to spread awareness about things going on in the world, especially with the media, because the media really portrays Kratom so badly. So what we do is we dive into just headlines. We watch some of the latest news stories that are out. We react to the videos. Sometimes they're good videos, sometimes they're not so good. So it's always fun to see us all react. For those watching in the comments, feel free to jump into the conversation, share your thoughts. We're always calling out the misinformation, and sadly, there is so much of it. So we like to say this isn't just a show, this is a movement to protect the plant that we all love. So I'm Madeline Sklar. I host this live stream series, as well as the Kratom Stories podcast and the Kratom Real Talk community. I've been consuming Kratom daily for about 6.5 years now, and it's just been amazing for my chronic pain issues. So that's why I'm always advocating daily for this plant. I am blown away every single day when I consume this because it helps me that much. So be sure to catch our latest episodes of the Kratom Stories podcast. It's everywhere but YouTube at the moment. So you can go to Spotify, Apple, all the different podcast apps. You can also listen to it directly on our website at kratomstoriespodcast.com. Everything will be back to normal on our regular YouTube next week. And the episodes that I can't put on there right now, like this week's new episode, I will add them all. So they'll all be there. And just a reminder, this live stream is for educational purposes only. We're not giving out medical advice here. We're just sharing our personal experiences and advocating for very responsible Kratom use. So let's bring up the gals on the screen today, and we have a special guest as well. How are y'all doing today, ladies?
Good.
So good. Happy to be here. I love Saturdays. I love being here with everybody.
It's a fun day of the week, and we got a special guest, Amanda Rayner.
Hey guys,
super advocate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great to see you here with us.
Good to have you. Very much so.
And I've interviewed her for the podcast. It hasn't come out yet. But it's really
I'm waiting.
Great.
I know. Yeah, I'm excited for it. It was a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it's already been. Yeah, the thing is, it's so interesting that there'll be times where like just nobody's showing interest in it, and I'm like, I need to get some interviews, and then all of a sudden I'll have a whole bunch. So I've been like lately, whole bunch of interviews, and yeah, so it's going to take a while to get them all out because I basically just post them in the order of when I did the interview. And I'm excited, Amanda, that your episode will be coming out in a few weeks.
Awesome.
And I mentioned at the start that Dan from Mitrospec, a great interview with him. His episode will be coming out soon. And for those that are not in our Kratom Real Talk community, I definitely recommend signing up. It's free. And Sarah and Dan have joined over there, and they put out so much great information, so much helpful info. They've been in the kratom industry a long time, and they're just so knowledgeable. And look, whenever brands are in our community, they're not there pushing their products and promoting and that's not something I allow anyway, not like that. But they're just there giving out information, just like Christopher Deeney from Christopher Organic Botanicals. We have so many amazing industry people that just share information and resources. I love that. So definitely come hang out with us over there. Oh, thank you for posting the link, Venus. You think of you. I'm so glad you think of that. KratomRealTalk.com. Oh, wait, that one's not spelled right. KratomRealTalk.com. So
I'm getting the actual link now. I'm trying to multitask like you. That's what I'm learning. So I'm glad it came through. You're welcome.
I don't even know how I do it. I don't even know what's wrong with me. I just can multitask really well. Sometimes it's a curse though. So I don't know. And you're definitely doing a lot of multitasking when you're doing this. That is for sure, because it's like so many different screens. But I got lots of videos for us to watch today. But before we do anything, Amanda, since this is your first time on the Kratom Gals, tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Oh, you're muted.
I knew that was going to happen. Okay, let's see. Well, I'm Amanda. I am 47 years old. I live with 10 out of 20 of the most painful conditions to live with. Trigeminal neuralgia being one of those, which is also known to a lot of people as the suicide disease. I started my holistic journey a little over a decade ago. I lost my mom to the hands of the pain clinic, and it scared me. It scared me. I had been on pain medicine since the age of 9 years old. So at this point, it was 30 years of pain meds. Nothing was working. It was constant fight to always find some sort of relief. I really didn't have much of a life. I had to stop doing what I loved doing for work. A lot of changes. So it wasn't cool. After losing my mom, I went holistic and I found Kratom 8.5. I started taking it on a regular basis 8.5 years ago. I did find it a little bit before that. I took it, got sick from it, and then was too afraid to try it again. But then I tried it again. A friend of mine convinced me. I tried it again, and I haven't looked back. So been about 50,000 pills that I've not had to consume in 8.5 years. And now, I'm just known as a very loud advocate in the community. And I'm fighting not only for myself, but I'm fighting for each and every one of us that, rely on this plant.
We all appreciate all the advocacy you do. What a story
Very
you have.
much
I can't
so.
wait for it to come out on the podcast in a few weeks. And you advocate so well. I know like you and Jennifer Mercy have been like doing the whole Northeast New England area, going to like some of those hearings. And it's not always easy to do because many times there's no notice.
There's no notice. And she just told me yesterday there's 4 more next week, and I had no idea. So I'm like, 4 more in Massachusetts next week, and it's looking pretty sad. It's kind of looking rough, like
Terrible.
California.
Why do you think there's so many? Well, to be clear, like for those that don't know you very well, you're both a Kratom consumer and a 7-OH consumer, and we welcome everybody here. We are non-judgmental. We many of us have been vocal about we don't like how a lot of those manufacturers are doing things and the names of those perks and all, drug names. We're very vocal about that, but we don't want anybody to ever feel shunned that they can't just be part of our discussions. And we've had people coming into the live chat in the comments here for months now. And so many people just feel like they have nowhere to turn to just talk about their experience. And we've just been open arms because we think that's the right thing to do. And so many of us, you included, we come from the pain community with pain management. And, I lost access because of the government policies, which suck. So I never got in trouble at the pain management doctor's office. I went for 9 years, took my opiates every day, no issues. And then I get a form letter in the mail saying, well, we're not doing this anymore. We're not going to prescribe anymore. And it's, so we get it that there are times where, what are we supposed to do? Do we go to the streets? Do we end it all? Like, what are you supposed to do? So if there's something that can help you, we're cool with that. I am. So,
Yeah.
Exactly. Who am I to sit there and say you can't, hey, I don't want you taking that because it works for you. Like, who am I to say that? I wouldn't
Same.
want someone saying that to
Yep.
me, so I'm not going to say it to anybody else,
yeah,
And
that's
because it
how I
works
feel
for
too.
you and it might not work for somebody else, or somebody
That's
else may
right.
not be able to be responsible for it. It's not your fault,
That's right.
Well, and just think of like all the judgment we had to deal with in pain management. I mean, I didn't like
Mhm.
shout from the rooftops all the meds I took. Like, I was always like, I can't tell people I'm about to pop a Oxycontin. People will freak out. I wasn't addicted to them. I was dependent, because that's a different thing. But like, I shouldn't be made to feel bad because I got dealt a bad hand with really severe degenerative disc disease. The doctor, to my face, said, your X-ray and MRIs look like somebody in their 80s, and which is very defeating. And on his way out, this was like literally a 2 or 3 minute in-person consult. On the way out, he says, if I were you, I'd get off the pain pills and just do yoga and swim. And out the door he was. And it's like, what are you supposed to do? And pain management, this was a surgeon. This was years into pain management, and just, things not helping and still being in a lot of pain. And I got to this point where I was just in tears all that. I'm like, there's got to be something that can help me. Like, this is awful. But one of the reasons why I'm such a big Kratom advocate is in those 9 years in pain management, I never heard the word Kratom. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know about it until I lost access. And that's just not right. And that's why we need more people talking about this plant and how it helps. So I didn't mean to say all that. So Amanda, so tell us, what is your thought? Let's go back to what I was trying to ask before. Why do you think there's so many of these hearings? I mean, it's constant this year.
I mean, I look at it sometimes from a personal aspect. I look at it like, here I am. And I mean, I've stopped counting in 8.5 years, over 50,000 pills. That's just for one person. That's not only the medication that they're missing out on money, but that medication that was destroying my physical being. It was destroying my organs. My blood work was terrible. My organs, they weren't looking the best. Like, I'm in the best shape of my life as an adult right now. Like, I'm down almost 100 pounds. Like, I'm moving around and I'm doing things. I wasn't doing this prior to Kratom. I was, counting each pill, and it's like, but to me, I think it's greed. It's money. It's taking away from their pockets, and they don't like it, because a cure, if you want to call it a cure, I mean, for me, this is my cure right now. This is what's working for me right now. And it's taking away from them. That's not putting, money into their hospitals. That's not putting money into their facilities for, drug addiction or anything. It's taking away from everything that's funding all these places. And that's why I think they're trying to do it, because realistically, it's not harming anybody. It's not physically harming people.
But all of a sudden,
responsibly.
They're saying there's all these 7-OH deaths.
Yeah, but they said the same thing back in 2016 with Kratom too, and here we are. Now it's safe and everything's fine, and the FDA and the DEA are fine with it. And now literally the language is almost verbatim what it was in 2016, 2017.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And I forget, and I think a lot of Kratom advocates who are very only pro Kratom are forgetting what it was like when we all were fighting together then, because a lot of them are doing to people like myself who utilize 7-0 on, bad pain days or Crohn's disease days that are, flaring, that I'm some, junkie addict, but I'm out there, I'm living my life. I'm, I get to take care of a little 1-year-old every now and again, and that like, it brings me joy. I had my life ripped away from me because of the pain meds I was relying on, because of how things were going for me through doctors. I took my health into my own control and things are going better for me. So that's just me as one person. If all the funds that and I remember what my doctor bills were showing every year. I'm not getting that. I'm not even getting sinus infections like I was every year. So it's like,
Nice.
that's taking away from them. And that's
Yeah.
why I think they're coming after us, and they're coming after us hard.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow. That was great. All great
And it
points.
feels like exactly it's from our own community, or, people just aren't thrilled about it because, as you know, I think you know that I also use 7-0 along with my Kratom. Kratom 7 years, 7-0 a year and a half, though in the first year I didn't use it as much as I use now. But over the summer, Kratom would have got me to my baby's birthdays, my grandchildren.
My son's
7-0 let me
graduations.
play
Yeah.
with them. The 7-0 let me play with them. I would have got there from the
Right.
tea, would have helped me up to get there and participate, but participate on my butt and not being able to use my legs or anything. The 7-0 let me play with them. And that to me, that's amazing. Nobody's going to take that from me because those are my grandbabies.
Yeah.
And, my son was 3 when I was injured, leaving the other illnesses aside. He was 3 when I was injured. I didn't get to lift my son in his life, nor my first grandchild. He's almost 20. I was able to lift these babies. I paid for it, but I wanted to try because of the relief,
Yep.
and I did accomplish it. So
The
I was
fact that
able
you
to
can
lift those things.
experience it,
Yes,
that right
Yeah.
there, not only what it's doing for you physically, but what that is doing for you mentally. Like,
Yep.
there goes, the antidepressants, there goes the anxiety medicine. Why?
Yes.
Because we're living our lives again,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I'm so glad that you've been able to do that, because there's things that I've been able to experience very similar,
I'm
like
so
my son's
glad too.
graduation,
Oh,
and it's like, I wouldn't
wonderful.
have that. I was a hairdresser, a dental
Exactly.
assistant, and I was also a infant through kindergarten teacher. So I've got quite a few backgrounds behind me. And now I'm just like, I work online for a vendor, and I nanny, here and there. And it's like,
Nice. The things that we
I
can
have
have and the
something to do.
memories. Yes, and the memories we can make, even if we continue to be
Yes.
limited. I'm limited. I'm always going to be limited. But I was able to. I have been taking 7-0 since I started being with the gals 6 months ago. Prior to that, it helps me sit here for the 2 hours
Mm-hmm.
and I do have ibuprofen right here because it's been a rough couple weeks. But oh my gosh, I'm grateful for both my tools,
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
Kratom
Yeah.
and both 7-0.
And
See,
you're
and
still
I
lucid.
wasn't for 7-0. I wasn't for 7-0 in the
I
beginning.
wasn't
Me neither.
either at
Yeah, I
first.
was like, I
Me
even told
too.
my boss, I'm like, Brandon, I'm not doing this anymore if you're gonna have this. Like, I'm done. And he was like, whoa, like, let me give you some information. And he gave me information, and I stopped listening to the narrative that's being pushed out there by some people
Right.
that are on the higher
Right.
ups that a lot of people trust right now, which yeah. And
I'm the same. Me
yeah.
too.
And
I
right
was
now,
worried
it's like,
about it. And
I got to learn myself. If I
that's
want,
right.
it's like, if
That's
you want
right.
something done right, do it yourself.
100%. Yeah.
Same
It's
same
like,
concept.
and that's
Mhm.
exactly what I did. And then I was like, well, I'm going to try it. And I tried it. And I'm so glad I did. I'm so
And
glad
then
I did.
once I took it, I was worried because of everything that was being said. You're going to start withdrawing within 2 hours. It's going to be worse than heroin, which I've never taken anything like that in my life. The closest thing I could relate to anything is morphine, but all these things, and I haven't had any problems. I haven't had no withdrawals. I haven't. I just had a whole week of not taking Kratom tea at all, and nothing happened with that either.
Yeah.
And so. Could there be a little for some of us, and maybe it is bad for other people, but you can't group it all together and say this is going to happen to everybody that takes it, because that's not true. You could say some, or maybe, or perhaps, or something like that, but you can't say that for everyone when it's just simply not true.
Yeah, everyone's experience is different. And that
That's
means,
right.
not
That's
only
it.
consuming the product, but it also means not consuming. I stopped for a full month when I did my hysterectomy because, they're like, no botanicals, no this. And that's a big surgery. And I heal like a diabetic. I'm nice and slow when it comes to things like that. So I did everything they told me to do. They gave me the pain meds. I ended up back in the hospital 3 times in a matter of 4 days. I stopped taking the pain meds. All the issues went away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this by myself. I took a little bit of Kratom. I was scared to even take that because of how disastrous the first week of my healing went. But then it was just like, okay, I'm going to go back to my botanicals. This is what I know that works. And I'm not looking back. You know, I know what works for me. I don't need the pain medicine. You know, if I need it, there's a purpose for it, but I don't need it. So
that's awesome. That's
yeah.
awesome. I love hearing all these stories. This is so great. Let's get into some videos because I got lots. And even though I can't post to my regular YouTube, where we are broadcasting on my new backup Kratom Real Talk that I set up, hopefully next Saturday we'll be back on our regular. We'll find out next Saturday morning if they'll let us, because they put me in a 2-week timeout, and it started last Saturday morning. So I'm hoping that that we'll be able to broadcast. If not, we'll do it on the Kratom Real Talk backup channel. But there still is a new episode. I was like, should I not put the episode out? Because when I was in the 1-week timeout last month, I just like, well, I'll just won't even put the new episode. We'll just be off for a week. And I'm thinking this time around, it's like, I don't want the episode to not be out for 2 weeks because I got all these interviews. I want to get them all out. Yeah. So it's not on YouTube at all. I don't want to put it on this backup account. The backup is just for the live stream so we can do this. I've been putting some shorts on there, but I will play catch up with the episode today and next week on there when I'm able to. But we are on Spotify. I realize they have video too. So I just tried it and it works. So we will watch a few clips from the new episode with Jordan Richard from New Hope Botanicals. He is episode number 83. I still can't believe there's 83 episodes now. The podcast will be 2 years old next month, December. I started in December 2023. But let me play a couple of clips for y'all.
Goodbye.
It really has. That was when I started the podcast, the Kratom Real Talk community in school, and the Kratom Stories podcast, like everything, the live stream, all of this, the live stream, the podcast, and the school all started. I don't know why. They all started in December 2023. So there you go. But yeah, I'm going to do this in Spotify. So this should be interesting because I haven't really used Spotify for this. But let me play a couple of clips for y'all. Hopefully this works.
My biggest concern is educating people on the differences, and I just hate that 7-hydroxy has muddied the waters. We made such amazing progress for years and years and years. I've been on the front lines since 2014, maybe even a little bit sooner, just trying to keep Kratom legal. And we made such strides, and then it's like this 7-hydroxy just comes in like a tornado and rips up everything that we fought for. I mean, there is some wins though. You know, the FDA saying that they know the difference between normal Kratom and 7-hydroxy. So it's always going to be a fight.
So I'm here with Jordan Richard from New Hope Botanicals, one of my favorite Kratom vendors. And
Thank you.
You've been on the podcast. I'm going to link to that so people can, if they haven't heard your story, they can check it out. It was almost 2 years ago when I had you on already.
Wow.
But I know. And for those that don't know Jordan, he's a fierce Kratom advocate. Super excited to welcome you back, Jordan, to the podcast. All right, I'm going to skip ahead. I love that he just did this outdoors. You know, he's in Southern California up in the mountains, and I know it's really beautiful where he lives. And I just love that he just did this from his phone outside. He was doing a TikTok live yesterday. I happened to catch, and I haven't seen him do one of those in a long time. All right, so I'm going to play this clip for y'all now.
And 7-hydroxy is incredibly powerful. It can be beneficial to some people, but the vast majority of people who are using it, their lives are in shambles. I always tell people the best way out of addiction is Kratom. A lot of people go into 7-hydroxy though, thinking it's a way out of addiction, but it's a way into addiction. Not to say that it can't be beneficial for a small number of people, but the vast majority of people who take normal Kratom say it's improved their life, and the vast majority of people I speak to taking 7-hydroxy saying that it's hindering their life for sure. You're getting something that is completely natural, like Kratom, compared to something that is made. Some people say that they use pool chemicals to chemically convert. That's what Dr. Chris McCurdy said when I interviewed him. The scariest thing though about 7-hydroxy, one is the way that they market it. A lot of these manufacturers don't give a crap about kratom. They'll make it look like a perk 30, or they'll make it look like lean. They make it look like Xanax bars and stuff like that. But they're calling it kratom, which is scary. Like the amount, comparing 180 milligram tablet of 7-OH compared to the amount of 7-hydroxy that is found in powder is roughly 6,000 times stronger. Like the amount, it's crazy. You would take, and a lot of people think that it's a kratom extract, but it's actually impossible. There's not enough 7-hydroxy available in the powder to extract it. It has to be chemically converted. It would take pounds and pounds and pounds and pounds of raw material to make one tablet of 7-hydroxy. The cost of the raw powder would cost way more than what you buy the whole pack of, 7-hydroxy for. So it's really muddied the waters a lot. It's made my job way, way, way harder. It could be great if it went through the drug approval process, but that takes 10 years and $1 billion to bring a new drug to market. These manufacturers would rather make millions and millions right now. What really gets me upset about 7-hydroxy is so many people were doing amazing on normal kratom, and then the smoke shop gave them a free sample saying, oh, it's kratom but better, and their lives are in shambles.
I'm gonna stop there. So, what's your thoughts? I mean, he makes a lot of good points. You know,
And
um,
I agree with him about how the people going in to look for plain leaf kratom and were given those samples, it just totally messed them up because they had no idea, no clue. They weren't trying to find something stronger or better. They just wanted their plain leaf, and they were just given that. So,
they weren't
and then the
educated on it.
marketing, yeah. And the gas stations should be marketing. I don't think they should be in gas stations anyway, the 7-OH. And if they're going to have something in there that they're selling, they should know what they're selling, no matter what it is. No matter what it is.
Love that. What do you think, Amanda?
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that do come to him are looking for help to get off the 7-O. So I do understand that. I can see where it'll be, can be abused. I do tell people if they have an addictive personality, don't take it. Please, if you haven't started off with kratom, don't start off with 7-O. And I tell that to anybody because, I mean, you need to know what you're getting yourself into, like kratom isn't something you just, you take it, I take, red and green and I mix that together. That's what works for me, but that's not going to work for, somebody else, or it may. So, you really got to educate yourself a lot on the plant prior to, I did that prior to even taking any of the mint extracts that have been out there, for the last 5, 6, 7 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I do know, a lot of 7-O products, get a lot of bad names, that the stuff at the gas station. I mean, friends of mine have gone to just go buy regular, jewel pods, regular nicotine pods, and been handed these little gummies, and they're like, oh, look at what I got. And I'm like, no, like, and I've taken it away from them. I'm like, you don't even take kratom. I'm like, no. And I educate all my friends on it. It's like, I just say, if you've not taken kratom, start there first. Don't just jump right to the extracts, because you can use kratom and successfully, stop using, pain meds, stop using, drugs, because it's been done before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what worries me too, are the people that haven't tried plain leaf and they don't realize that it works so well, and then they try the 7-OH and they get relief, and then they're panicking because they don't realize that plain leaf may help them just as well, and they may not need it as much. So
I think a lot needs to go in for like a mindset. Like, people need to go in with a good mindset. Like, hey, I'm using this as a tool. When, I know people that have been, dealt with drug addiction, or even like myself, where I've had to like say, okay, I'm going to take an extra pill today because, I'm working today. Tomorrow I don't have, I'm just going to go without, and I'll just be in pain. Right. So it's like, I think it's a lot about accountability when it comes down to it. They need to know that, hey, like, I'm going into this using this as a tool. If I'm going to sit there, go into this, know that, hey, I like the feeling of this, and I'm going to take more than needs to be because I have a high tolerance. And that's what we see a lot in this community is I have a high tolerance.
Mhm.
It's not the same. It's not the same as medication. It's not the same as drugs. It's not the same. Like, it's totally a different thing. And a lot of people don't realize that. So it's like, I always tell people, start very small, work your way up, because you can't take less. You could take more, but you can't take less.
Right, right.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's why I started with nibbles. I still nibble
I love
because
that,
I would have
nibbles.
It's a great term.
yeah,
I love it.
I would have never trusted the smoke shop to be truthful to me in the first place. And so one time, and it has nothing to do with tea in any capacity, but my husband had got me a CBD vape, only CBD, it was supposed to be CBD. Well, when I had him go back, when we went back to get another, I might have even gone with him that time. They ended up giving me one it was a Delta 8 or a 9, and I specifically asked for CBD. But sometimes things happen, so we always have to do our due diligence anyway to not outright, trust the smoke shops. I don't want to say distrust them, but just know what we're buying or do the best we can, because the people that wouldn't have, you know, checked into it, I mean, to me that's sad to think that you are getting kratom and wouldn't have the knowledge of that. I would have known it wasn't my tea form. I would have
Right.
assumed it was an extract, but I do feel bad for those people. We just have to always make sure we know what we're getting and, what somebody is trying to tell us, because a lot of them are not educated either. They're just business people. They're just trying to make the sale. They don't know. I mean, CBD is CBD, but this ended up, another vape or whatever you would call it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have killed me in any way, but that's not what I wanted,
Right.
so we just have to make sure exactly. I have leeway in the amount that I take of the 7-0, but I never, jumped into a whole tablet of even the lowest dose. I still get a low dose tablet, and then I still just, use off of that. But I guess everybody is different. Some people say that they're fine taking a couple 20s a day, or, a couple people with extreme disabilities are taking 2 to 3 20s a day, but they're spacing it as if it was medication.
Right.
So that might be absolutely fine for that person. On the other hand, somebody else with the same condition or something else, that would be too much for. So perfect, Amanda. Always start small. And then you have
Yeah,
your leeway if you need a little more, another little nibble or something, instead
Yeah.
of jumping right into it and not being able to tug yourself back.
Because
absolutely.
I know when I
Decrease.
tried it, I did the little nibbles, and then I was like, I'm just going to take a whole one, right? But the next day, my regular kratom didn't work at all, and it was the strangest
Mm.
thing. So I think keeping to the little nibbles that you're doing is good,
Mm-hmm.
and it could have just been just me, But that's something that now I know that I won't take a whole one of those. I just have
Right.
them
And
for
you learned from it. Yeah.
yeah,
And it was
yep,
still a low dose. It's not like you jumped in to an
right.
80 milligram tablet or a
It was
20
12,
even, or even a
yeah.
15. Exactly. Very low. So
Mm,
you were fine with that.
yeah.
So,
And I just learned my lesson, and I know that now I won't take a whole one. I'll just stick with the nibbles if I need it, and for extreme pain, because it didn't really do much for me over what my plain leaf tea did. So, because that was already helping me, so I have it there in case I need it on bad flare days.
mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I like having, they'll last me forever, including the extracts, and I just like having them all back there. So I
And
just
it
For
tell them
me
also
what they
makes you
do.
personally,
feel
with the
like it's an
7-0,
emergency rescue is available. Like an emergency rescue, meaning from a flare that would have normally been 2 weeks or 3 days or whatever somebody's flare could end up being. I'm not only getting my relief to accomplish something that would take more leg time or back time, but I'm also able to rescue myself for a longer flare. And I'm
Right.
just coming through one right now that's not entirely done, and it's been maybe 9, 10 days, but it rolled in from one to another. But I'm actually feeling a little better today, and there's been times I've been in flares for months at a time. So I feel very great. I just feel grateful. I feel grateful, you know. So, and Jordan, in reference to Jordan's part, Jordan always does amazing. And the thing is Jordan is hard. it all comes from his heart. So even if, let's say, there was something I didn't fully agree with, I still support him because he's trying and he is accomplishing and he is helping people. And so, I appreciate Jordan. Either way, he's a wealth of information.
I absolutely love Jordan. He's been such a
Mhm.
wonderful person in this community. He has been, I mean, not only is he hysterical, because I mean, if you've seen some of his
I
TikToks,
know, I
he's pretty
love it.
funny.
Funny.
Like he's
Seriously,
hysterical.
mean,
But he's got such a vast, like wide range of knowledge, and he has such a beautiful heart. Like he's got such
Yeah.
a beautiful heart. And I mean, I know my prayers are going out to him right now with everything that's going on in California.
Yeah,
So I know that's got to be a
definitely.
lot for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, California is under attack for sure. For anybody watching on YouTube, I'm sorry for any confusion. My regular YouTube channel is in jail right now. YouTube won't let me do anything until next week. They didn't like a video I put up, and so they put me in timeout. So we are on multiple YouTubes today. We're on my new backup account. It only has a couple of subscribers, so it's not like everybody knows we're here. We're on Venus's YouTube and Christopher Deanie's YouTube and on Christopher's X. So we're kind of all over the place. So for those that are in the comments going, where I see comments on the screen, but I don't see them where I'm at in YouTube, it's because we're on 3 different YouTubes right now. So I know that can kind of get a little confusing. I just want to point that out. But I love all the comments, love all the activity here. Y'all have a lot to say. I love this. Let me play some of the latest news stories. I've got a handful of them that have come out this week. I'm going to start with one from LA County, because they lots happening there with
Yep.
Kratom and 7-OH.
New tonight at 9.
It is more potent than morphine or heroin.
New tonight at 9, LA County health leaders warning about a dangerous drug found in products like these at your local convenience store. CBS LA assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, the compound is called 7-OH, and it's already led to deaths here in LA County.
That's right, Pat. The compound is derived from a plant called kratom, and it's something you've likely heard about before. But what is happening with the kratom plant, as according to the LA County Health Department, is they are extracting part of the substance of it that makes it create opioid-like effects. They're amplifying it and then putting it into some of these products that are being sold at local convenience stores. We'll show you the video here. Some of the products look like this. This is from the FDA. They're sold likely right near the gas register, or the cash register rather, at the convenience store, and it is marketed as things like weight loss drugs or dietary supplements. It comes in liquid forms, pills, other types of forms as well. But ultimately, what it can do is make you addicted to things like opioids. It has that opioid-like effect, and you may not even realize you're taking opioid or taking the compound that makes you feel like you're on opioids. Now, the LA County Department of Public Health says just this year alone, there has been 6 confirmed overdose deaths related to 7-OH, and again, that's the compound. They say they were first alerted by the medical examiner back in September of this pattern that they were seeing. Now they're going into local convenience stores to try to tell people and the owners to remove them from their shelves. Here's the deal. 7-OH and the kratom plant are not a scheduled drug, meaning it's not illegal to possess them. The federal government has not determined that, but it is illegal to have them in dietary supplements or anything else that is marketed as a food. And that's where the health department comes in and can make what they call red tagging available to get these products off of shelves. This afternoon, I had a chance to speak with the LA County Public Health about the dangers of 7-OH.
People may not understand what they're taking. They may not understand the risk of tolerance. And that's one of the things we hear, is that people escalate their use. We're also concerned that if people then stop taking them, they go into withdrawal, which increases the risk of using other opioids in order to treat 7-OH withdrawal. Now, we've got really good treatments for addiction involving opioid use, but people may not even understand that that's what's going on in the first place.
Yeah, and he says that's really their big concern, is people that may be taking this over the counter at your local convenience store don't realize that it has these opioid-like effects. You take too much of it, you potentially overdose, or you can become addicted, but don't even realize that you are addicted, because this is marketed as a dietary supplement, and it's not even a scheduled controlled substance, according to the federal government. Pat?
You know what? Is it just me? Why do people consume things and don't pay attention to what it is they're consuming? I mean, they're
That's
basically
right.
saying, like, people don't even know what they're taking. Well, it's like, if I see this at the store and I decide, first of all, before I even buy it, I'm going to be Googling it on my phone
Me
right then and there.
too.
I'm like, what is this? I'm not going to I know a lot of people just randomly buy crap and they just ingest it. that's on you, man. I
But
mean,
are
we're
that
grown
many people
adults.
really that
Yeah.
naive and not doing that, or are they just saying they are? See, there so many stories are told you can hardly believe anything. So
It's
I
like the
do
game of
see it
telephone.
happening. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Things do happen. That's absolute. But I just don't believe that that many of us out in this world is that ignorant. I just don't believe it. I think that they just get these sentences that they accumulate and they run with it and start spreading it, because that's just not I not that everybody does what I do and has to be on everything and research absolutely everything, but Madeline, you're very similar, and I do with if a doctor was giving me a medicine, I'm on it like right away. And I'm just even all my husbands, and I don't even take medication. But my husband's, I know as much as I can about his, all the diabetes medicines and what it might interact with, and would it be okay and would it not be okay. And that's another reason why we should always go super slow or super low in making sure that it isn't, something we're taking isn't having a conflict with the magnesium or the vitamin D or just anything.
Yeah, always know what you're
So
consuming, and
yeah,
even supplements can be dangerous. I mean,
that's right.
I research everything, and if a doctor prescribes something new, I'll go get it filled, but I'm gonna go Google it. I'm gonna go also to drugs.com. They have this great feature. It's been around forever. It's called Med Notes, MEDNOTES, Med Notes. It's free. And you put in all your meds and it tells you what interacts. And if there's like any news releases that have been out about that particular medication, it's a whole bunch of great info. So I've always used that because the doctor and the pharmacist may not always be aware of everything you're taking. And people die every day from interactions from multiple pharmaceuticals. Well, who's at fault? Is it the pharmacist? Is it the doctor? Is it the person? I mean, it just happens, but with Kratom, it's so demonized. It's like, we're going to blame Kratom for everything, even if you just ingest it without even reading the package to see what are you consuming.
No, I mean, you're right. It does just happen. That's how it went with my mom. After 8 months of pain medication from the pain clinic, they test your urine just to make sure it's there. They weren't testing her blood. And had they tested her blood, they would have noticed that, everything was out of whack. Her organs were shutting down. And it wasn't just anxiety she was feeling. It was her body literally shutting down on her.
Wow. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. That's awful. Yeah. I mean, I got more news stories. There's more of them. I got one from Georgia next. I mean, there's every week I always uncover all of these for us to watch, and it's just crazy how what I did like about the previous one, the LA one we just watched, they were showing like at least they just showed 7-OH products. Usually we watch these news stories, they're talking about 7-OH but showing kratom. They're showing powder. They're showing capsules. They're showing like regular traditional whole leaf kratom while talking about 7-OH. I mean, they were good with showing actual 7-OH packaging, but they really made a point to show a whole bunch of them. I don't think they've ever seen a news story like that, but it is educational. I mean, I give them credit for that. They're educating their community by showing all those packages. They watch out for this. Go read the label. Understand what you're buying. I think that's important.
And the different names. That should be just something that when you see the names, it would automatically say, "Hey, we gotta look this up and see what it does."
Red warning. Yeah. You're at the convenience store, you see a package of Roxy, dopium. What about that one we saw last week, dopium? I mean, come on.
Right.
I think people buying that at the store are like, oh, I'm buying this. This sounds interesting.
Yeah, because some people
Exactly.
would, because of that. It would be something to pull them in, especially if they were seeking to use something to fade off of or get, their buzz or whatever. So they might take it blindly, but yeah, I'm bothered by the names. I'm definitely bothered by the names they all rolled out with, so.
Yeah, Amanda, what do you think? Because I mean, when you're advocating, you're going to the hearings and you mentioned 7-OH. I mean, like, what's your thought of like these drug names for 7-OH products?
It's super frustrating because it's like, you see, I mean, being here that I've been in this community for a long time, and that I do the research, like these, the CBD is what started, a lot of 7-OH, but then, you've got other people producing it now versus where it originally came from. And it's a marketing thing. Like, even with Kratom strains, we know it's red, white, green, that's Kratom. But then you've got, Meng Da and all this. It is all marketing. Like, we've got weird names, half the names some people can't pronounce. We all say Kratom, 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 but then it's like we got perks and, Roxy's and, and then they've got these bright big colors are like, oh, Euphoria. And it's like, it's all marketing. They're like, here, it's, it's like going to Vegas and seeing the flashy lights. That's kind of what's happening going into these smoke shops and gas stations. They're just putting this like right front and center.
And lighting people's receptors up before they even consume anything. Like you're not even consuming it yet, but your receptors are going boing, boing, let me get that.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. Well, let me play this next video for y'all because I do not have a shortage of videos. I got so many videos for us to watch today. All right, so this one is Georgia.
Tonight, a new warning from Georgia authorities about an opioid-like drug found on store shelves. It's called 7-OH.
It's a chemical found in some Kratom products sold at gas stations and vape shops. Kratom itself is legal, but 7-OH can have effects like a prescription painkiller or even heroin, and it's proving highly addictive.
Jasmine Lee shares how investigators are seeing it impact Central Georgia communities.
Authorities say opioid deaths in Georgia continue to be a problem, and a legal plant product may be contributing to the crisis.
7-OH refers to the chemical compound that's found in what's commonly known as kratom.
Jones County investigator Crystal Murphy has witnessed this firsthand. She says people are using it to get a high or to ease withdrawals from other drugs. But how do people get it? That's Murphy's worry. She says it can be found on store shelves, in vape shops, and even online. Murphy says Jones County deputies are seeing this drug regularly, and people are already struggling with addiction. She adds dependence can develop quickly, leading to withdrawals and physical side effects.
It mimics those same side effects that users will get from using opioids, like pills or heroin. It's just in a legal form.
Murphy warns use of the drug can make existing mental health issues worse, sometimes bringing out symptoms in people who already struggle.
The packaging usually is marketed as all natural and herbal and, soothing.
Murphy is urging parents and residents to pay close attention to these products. She says because something is marketed as herbal does not mean it's safe. And with addiction and mental health risk on the rise, Murphy believes stronger action is needed to keep drugs out of the hands of people who could be hurt.
I would like to see more legislation on something like that. Even if it's not a total ban on something like that, make it where it's not as readily available that someone can just walk in a convenience store.
Reporting in Jones County, Jasmine Lee, 13 WMAZ News.
Okay. What are y'all
That
thoughts?
one was somewhat decent.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
It was, that surprisingly, it's like one of the few that like are not that bad. Or although at the beginning he really emphasized heroin.
Right.
Like they always have to like
Yes.
emphasize this is bad. Be
Or
very
the
dramatic.
first few pictures that they were putting were like literally needles and Narcan. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
no one's
Yeah.
shooting this stuff up.
I
No
saw
one's
the
using
Narcan,
needles
I
with
was
this
like,
stuff.
why?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. This next one is Kansas City. And of course, Kansas City, there's been a lot happening there because the CBD American Shaman, Vince Sanders, who claims he was the one that started the whole 7-OH thing. Is that true, Amanda? Do you know? Like,
I don't know exactly who it was. I just know, a lot of, back when, remember when all the credit card processors started getting shut down in the Kratom community, there was a lot of vendors that were selling CBD stopped selling CBD and like Delta products because of, what's going on with the hemp and all this stuff, and so I just know from, I don't have all the facts, so don't quote me, but I do know that it came from people who originally were making the CBD is where 7-O first started originating from.
yeah, I know he's been in interviews where he's boasted over the years about how he started it all. He figured it out. And, but we've had Todd Underwood here from Mint Wellness, and he's talking, I'm on the podcast a while back, and he said that they figured out how to do it, but decided we're not going down that road. It's not the right thing to do. I don't know. I just wish that those manufacturers just took more responsibility for doing things right. and going through the process. I mean, it could possibly be a promising drug, but it's got to go through a process.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely going through that process.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael, who is Craig, says naloxone doesn't work on kratom since it's a partial agonist and produces no respiratory depression, but would it work against 7-OH being fully binding? They say that it would help with 7-OH. Amanda, do you know much about that?
I don't know much about it. I just know that 7-OH is a semi-synthetic. I don't know about all of like the scientific stuff. That's not my thing. I mean, I could bring my kid in here who's a biochemist and he can like break down like some science information. I probably still wouldn't understand it. So, I don't personally know if 7-OH is going to do that. I do know from the studies that I've heard that the depression on the respiratory depression was done through IV use, and it was not done through, sublingual use. People are not, shooting this. They are not sniffing this. That's not how anybody that I've heard of in any of the community, good or even, the bad side people who are abusing it are using it, so if it works, if they're shooting it up, I don't know. As for the way that I've consumed it, and I know many have, I've never heard of anybody needing 7-O for, 7-O and Narcan
and
at
you
all.
have to take so many, just like with pain medications, opioid analgesics. If you're taking them as prescribed with your hours as prescribed, there's no respiratory depression.
Right.
That would be such a
You're going to need like dump truck loads, like, and we've done that before.
To get there. And it has to accumulate in your body and stack. Massive amounts would end up causing somebody, the respiratory depression and the overdose.
Exactly.
Taking anything normal, it's not going to get.
Yeah, the 7-O isn't there very long. It does not stay very long. So something that, you would need something, you're right, like you would, with heroin or fentanyl and stuff like that. And I've seen it. I've had to Narcan quite a few people in my times, and it's not fun, so I've never seen that with anybody that I know to use kratom or 7-O.
Yeah. Okay.
But you make a really good distinction about how the study that claims that it causes respiratory depression, that 7-OH does, was done with rats in IV, which is not, I mean, how much would that really translate to real life?
That's right.
And how much, that's how much are they giving intravenously with that? Because that's if you're giving it and just giving it and giving it, you're going to kill somebody. Of course, you're going to do it.
Right.
You'll do that with water. You're going to do that with water if you take too much of it.
Even a dog, we're talking barely a pound or something to maybe 50 pounds, unless I use the larger animals. But what I'm saying, they're also going into a tinier body, and it's intravenous. It's not oral, and it's boom, not a slower release. Anything given by injection.
Yeah. What is that? They were on mice or rats or something like that. The IV ones. Yeah. So I mean, look at how little those are.
Yeah. It's just they don't usually say like, oh, this was done with mice IV, and like you just hear that there was a study that most of us hear there was a study with rats. I know McCurdy was involved with this, and it came out in May. I remember finding it and reading it here on the Kratom Gals. It was a study done with rats or mice, I forgot which one, and I don't remember the IV part, but I know that that's what they did. I just don't remember when I read it what all it said.
Yeah, but I remember when Wednesday was on, we were talking about that, and then like the amount of like 7-O doses at that point, it was like 500 million billion something like that. It was something crazy. A huge amount, and it's like we would have been hearing this because it's been here since 2023. We're at the end of 2025. Why are we just hearing all this now?
100%. But what about when they
intentionally leave it up to interpretation? And then the masses run wild with the interpretation or the perception of the possibility, and we don't really have the truth. And then that leads us, we end up spreading it as misinformation because we believe it causes respiratory depression. So then we start saying it causes, and then we're part of the problem.
Well, what they might be doing is they might just be taking pieces of what, McCurdy or the AKA is telling them, and they're just taking pieces. It's,
That's right.
how much of it is all of the information that we're getting? That's why, do your own research. It's
100%.
like the news media, the politics, everything. They're putting it out there for their narrative, what they want you to hear.
That's
How
right.
much of it
That's
are
right.
you taking? How much of it are you doing on your own? That's what I did. I started doing it on my own, and literally, like, my life has just been changed. Instead of like, okay, I'm just gonna, trust them and do it like that. No, I would have been
Right.
dead like 5 times over if I kept trusting certain doctors. Like I had
Right.
medications that combined together literally would have killed me, and I didn't take it. And I like walked back in, gave him the prescription back, and I'm like, no, like, and that was the last time I saw that doctor. It's like,
Wow.
yeah.
Whenever I see those medical studies now, I put into ChatGPT and I ask it a bunch of questions. I have it explain it to me like in simple terms. Um, and that's what we're not getting enough of. You see these medical papers, they don't really make sense. All the jargon and stuff. I see those abstracts. I'm like, I don't even understand any of this. But you put into ChatGPT or one of the other AI tools, and it's not going to always be 100% accurate. But what I do is I talk to it. I put it in and I say, explain this to me. I don't understand all this jargon. Give me a summary where I can understand what does this exactly mean. And then I just keep asking the questions to try to really understand it better. And I think that it would be helpful for people to do things like that. It's not hard to do. You can use ChatGPT for free. A lot of the others have a free version, but just don't always take things at face value. I think that's the bottom line we're
That's
saying
right.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too easy to. That's like the easy way out. Oh, they said this. Okay. Just like that whole affinity binding thing. It's not an apples to apples thing, but that's such a big talking point that gets brought up in the
That's it.
news,
Talking
the
point.
government, all over the place. And it drives me crazy. Yeah. I think I need to make an educational video about that because it's just driving me crazy.
And it's frustrating because like we're the science, but they're not listening to us. They don't even come to us like, hey, hi, we're the science. We have what you're looking for. Like there's billions of us taking this product. Like,
yeah,
I'm just
And we
kind
all
of
have medical
dumbfounded.
records,
But it's like when you stop and you're like, okay, so if they don't want to listen to us, what is the bigger picture? Are they going to take this completely away from us? Like, why are they making all these bans for this now?
And then when they kept saying 13 times stronger than morphine and 20 times stronger than morphine and all these things, and I'm sitting here thinking, that's one experience I do have because I took actual morphine for 3 years and it's not compared at all. And the most I could compare it to at best is a half a hydrocodone, maybe, not morphine, not
right. I
all
agree.
these other things that they're putting on it. It wouldn't be. So the pain relief would, with the 7, is a little more equal to a baby pain pill or a half a baby pain pill.
Yeah, I've
but
said
it's
that
not.
with alcohol, that because I never feel like anything that warm fuzzy feeling that people talk about from a pain pill. I've never had that because of the pain I've been in, I'm guessing. But like taking a drink of an alcohol beverage and you get that warm fuzzy feeling, like that would make sense, so I can understand like where a lot of people might feel like, oh, that's what they're getting from it, but that.
And I think that would need to be at the higher doses at one time, not breaking a tablet in half or taking 10 at a time or something like that. It would really have to be a lot. I could see if it is a lot, you ending up having a feeling from it or a euphoria or something like that. But it would have to be a lot.
So, and there's a lot of people are using tablets now, but because that's basically what's portrayed out there, in the news and stuff. But if you're, going to a vendor who's doing the proper lab testing, packing all of that stuff, you're going to find a powder and you're going to be able to weigh it out in a small, tiny, teeny milligram dose where you're going to get that dose exactly the same time. Like with breaking a tablet, you don't know, is that tablet completely mixed properly? Is the 7-0 distributed evenly? Like, because there's so much different in a tablet. Like when you're taking it and breaking it, like, are you precisely getting an even cut every, 4 or 6 ways you're doing it? So you have no idea exactly how much you are taking with the tablet because you don't know the exact mixture of it. And it's a tablet. Unless you're taking that whole tablet, are you really getting that certain percentage? That's why I personally, I have the tablet. I also have the powder, but I will take the powder preferably over the tablets if I can. Tablets just kind of convenience, you know.
And I've
Tablets,
only ever used
it's
the
really a
tablet,
breakthrough
yeah.
pain for me as a tablet because they don't last very long for me, maybe
Yeah.
2 hours. And I need, you know, I need the full spectrum. I need the Kratom. That works better for me. I have longer lasting results than I do with, you know, 7-0 in general.
Yeah. Good point.
It's a great conversation. I
Yeah,
love
very
this.
much so.
Let me play the Kansas City news story because I thought this one was a bit interesting. So here we go.
Well, last week we told you about a product that's flying off of gas station shelves in Kansas City, 7-0. It's a synthetic derivative of the plant Kratom. Experts are growing very concerned with the effects it has on users, comparing it to heroin and fentanyl. Tonight, our KSHP 41i team explains why Kansas City is hoping to be the first in Missouri to regulate it. Our government accountability reporter, Isabella Ladon, reports.
For centuries, people have used Kratom as an herbal treatment for pain and energy. Within the plant is a small percentage of a compound known as 7-hydroxymitragynine, or 7-OH. A local business owner in Kansas City learned how to produce 7-OH on its own and has sold it over the counter for the last 2 years. In our new series, Strong High, Weak Laws, we're going to be diving deep into what these products are, how they're different, and how they're being sold in our community and the country with little regulation.
It's definitely gas station heroin.
7-OH.
More addiction.
Or alkaloid tablets.
It's the wild, wild west out here.
Or Kratom.
There's no age restrictions.
Has Kansas City voices speaking up. It's a product you can buy in gas and convenience stores for less than a latte.
It comes in pills. It comes in liquid form. It is available everywhere. And it's very highly addictive and it's easy to misuse.
Kratom is the parent plant to 7-OH. Experts say its leaves contain less than 0.05% of the chemical compound.
We always knew that you couldn't extract out the 7-OH from the kratom leaf because there's just too little. It would never be commercially viable.
But that's exactly what Kansas City business owner Vince Sanders did 2 years ago.
If I take 10 milligrams of just pure 7-OH, I felt amazing.
Both Kratom and 7-OH bind to your opioid receptor. Recent research has found 7-OH is up to 40% stronger than morphine.
The effects are going to be very similar to an opiate.
American Shaman markets the pills as a safe alternative to painkillers.
It works. That's why people come.
Local hospitals and addiction centers have seen a staggering uptick in patients seeking help from 7-OH.
Some of the patients might have started it to get off the opiates, but are struggling with a bigger addiction now.
KCMO could be one of the first municipalities in Missouri to establish regulations for 7-OH and its parent plant, Kratom.
13 eyes.
If it's hurting our community, it has a potential of hurting our community, it's something that needs to be regulated.
Addiction specialists say it's a good start.
You are making money off people's tragedies, and it needs to stop.
If you have questions you want answered about 7-OH and Kratom, scan the QR code on your screen to send me a message about it. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to continue to bring you all the voices and perspectives on how these products are connected to Kansas City and what our local leaders are doing about it.
All righty.
Well, some people are also making money off of other people's relief too. So I can't get mad at that because even though there's people out there that are being harmed, and I wish that wouldn't happen, and I pray for people all the time, people are also being relieved, and in both avenues, meaning pain relief and symptom relief, and also harm reduction. So, I mean, like, people are going to be harmed when it's no longer out there. Right. And I can't.
Oh,
I
yeah, for
understand that
sure.
there's always going to be industry tussle with everything, every industry, not just this one or both of them, you know. But I don't, you know, I personally think that people in the community that we respect and are responsible and test, they should have probably offered it because it makes sure that the people that are going to consume it are safe. So, I mean, heroism comes in a lot of different forms, and doing that would have also been just as heroic to carry a product that people utilize and you know that they're buying something safe rather than going somewhere and not having a safe product at all. That's my thoughts on that. I wouldn't, you know, put somebody down because they carried it or blacklist them from a community or tell them they're going to be boycotted if they put it on their shelves or anything like that. I don't think that's right either.
I've lost a lot of respected community friend members, like a lot of them, because of who I work for or what I consume. And it was sad because I'm like, okay, well, you know, I thought we were all in this together. It is an alkaloid from the plant, and we are all here fighting for the plant together. That's what we need to be doing, because we need regulation. It's the only thing that's going to save all of us as a whole.
That's right.
100%.
Right.
100%.
And especially once I saw that it was helping people, you know, I thought, who am I? And the people weren't, because the first thing I thought was, okay, you need to go and testify. And I thought you'd all be taking your 7-OH and falling asleep on the desk, to be honest. That was what the picture that I got from what I was hearing. And then I saw that no, it can be taken responsibly. That is not the way. I mean, you're here making sense, lucid, you know. So it totally changed my mind.
And I haven't seen anybody yet that has been bombed like their or that people, you know, that it was put out in the communities that that's how people who consume it are. And I haven't even seen people that have used it for harm reduction that way. I mean, I don't see a lot of people. I'm just saying the ones that I have not seen that in them.
Yeah, you see a lot of talk on Reddit. You see a lot of talk on Discord, and that's where a lot of the bad image of it has come from. A lot of it's come from. I mean, it's been worded strictly from the AKA that's where they're getting their information is Reddit. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen it. I've worked with people in this community who have abused it. I've worked with people who had needed to taper off of it. You know, I've worked with people who wanted to taper on and off, you know, Kratom 7-0. And, you know, it's like, have I seen it destroy people? Is it the product destroying the people, or is it the person itself allowing the product to destroy? So that, you know, because when we look at what is the deeper issue, we look at it, is it the product destroying the person? You know, it's the person destroying the person when it really comes down to it. Yeah.
Whatever's going on in that person's life that they're trying to escape from is what's making them go after it and maybe consume more and more, just like, you know, anybody else.
Still going to have to deal with that issue, whatever.
Oh my God. It's like,
right.
It's been sad. I mean, I have customers message me on a daily basis. Hey, like, what's going on? Like, are you guys following everything? Like, you know, are you guys staying up to tune with what's going on? Like, you know, people in Florida messaging, hey, like, what's going on? And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart because I've worked with these people for, you know, I formed bonds with them for, you know, 7.5, 8 years in this community. I mean, I've been in this community for a decade, and to see a lot of people worrying right now where they're going to get their relief and their plant medicine, whether it's keeping them sober, whether it's helping their pain, whether it's helping their, you know, whatever it is that they're taking it for, it's going to be taken away from them. And I'm seeing a lot of us get scared. And that is worrying me, what is going to happen with a lot of us in this community, not only mentally, but physically.
Yeah. Same. I mean, I don't know, like, I just don't want to go backwards and not be able to have what I've been able to now do and accomplish in these past few months, and have to tell Madeline one day I can't be here no more. You know, I'll obviously will do everything not to let that happen, do my tea or do something different or see, you know, something, but I would just hate to lose what I've gained because of both tools. And that includes 7-0. You know, that's because I've already lost my previous advocacy. I used to work for the International Pain Foundation. I literally could not do that anymore because I had a nervous breakdown from unmanaged pain and all medical stuff, and left them. I try to do a little bit of stuff still with them. I do a lot of shares and stuff for them. But as far as on boots on the ground or trying to get out and this and that, I can't. I'm still not to the point. You know, that might never come for me, but at least I had some content and peace inside of me that at least I'm doing okay. You know, I'm not my, you know, my mental health is not so bad that I'm losing my whole self from it again. I've been able to be stable, and that's a blessing.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm loving this conversation, y'all. This is so great. Before our next video, I want to do a quick brand shout out that's supporting all of our advocacy efforts here. And I just want to, I'm going to take you off screen for a moment to do this. I want to be super clear about this too. When I'm talking about brands, these are brands that I personally use myself. They're on my approved vendors page on my website at kratomstoriespodcast.com. I've been consuming Kratom every day for 6.5 years, and I spend a lot of time researching ones before I consume it. And so I take the time to really vet, get to know them, and making sure it's all third-party lab tested. It's a really big deal to me. And I've just have built some great relationships with brands, and they're not paying me to do an ad. I want to be very clear about that because that's not how I operate. So I just want to be super clear about that. But I like sharing the information because I think that's really helpful. When I first started Kratom in 2019, it was hard to find out from people like, where do I even get this stuff from? People just were not forthcoming with information, which made it harder for me as a new consumer and to learn about it. And I'm not saying everybody as a consumer needs to go shouting from the rooftops where you buy your Kratom from, but I just was like, well, if this stuff works for me, I'll be happy to share like where I buy mine from because I don't see anything wrong with that. And so what I like to do from time to time on here on our show is to put a spotlight on the brands that are helping to support all of our efforts. I have teamed up with some of these brands to help us get out more educational information and advocacy information because I think it's so important. But like I said, they're not paying me to advertise them. We're all working together for the greater good of our community, which is very, very important to me. So I'm trying something new this month. I'm calling it a vendor of the month. So I'm putting a spotlight today on Happy Hippo, one of the brands I like. As a matter of fact, my day today is being powered by their green Borneo. I don't know why it does this. Hold on, let me take it off screen. Okay. I absolutely love their green Borneo. This is one of my favorites. And so this is what's helping me today do all the things. I really enjoy their products. And so I just want to give them a shout out. You can get 15% off with code Kratom Stories. But one of the things that's really cool that they do is they have a starter pack. So when people are new, I remember when I first started in 2019, I found a brand that did like a starter pack where you can just try different ones. And so what they do are these 6, I think it's like a 6 gram, which is like kind of like how I was first starting with a different brand where they had like little things where you can actually go like try like a bunch of these so you can just try different ones. I was trying like different greens, different whites, different reds, and that's how I figured out like what worked for me. And what's really cool is that they offer this sample pack for just $10, but with our code, it's only $8.50. So if anybody's looking to just get more information, looking to start, lots of information on their website. So it's just a brand I recommend if anybody's looking for something different or if they're new, just wanted to point that out to y'all. So thank you for letting me take a moment to share info that I think people find helpful. A lot of people in the community tell me they really appreciate me sharing this kind of information because it helps them and makes it a little bit easier for them with their start. So just want to share that. And I take you off screen because I don't want y'all to feel like y'all are attached to that because I don't know, like, if these are brands y'all, feel the same way about. So I want our community to know, like, this is me sharing my personal opinion. So that's all that is. But yeah, I made them our vendor of the month because I just want to put a bigger spotlight on them this month. I love working with them. They're so great at advocacy. If you're not following them on TikTok, they're always putting out great educational information, but they're also, when there's something new going on in the advocacy world, they've been really good about putting more information about that to make people aware and how to go and get your voice heard through the different things, alerting to like, here's what the AKA is saying, and like, go here to go, share your testimony with this particular state that is, holding hearings or like whatever. And I just love that because I would love to see more companies, more industry people doing stuff like that. And I love that they do that. So I love supporting brands like that. And yeah, they have gummies. They got a wide variety of products. So
I'm glad
just
you
wanted
do
to share
that
that.
because I remember when I was first trying to find it, and luckily I found my vendor really quick. But I felt I was sick, and to be able to concentrate and look at the websites and figure out what everything is was just a lot. So I think
It's
your vendor is
overwhelming.
great. It's very overwhelming. So I'm really glad that you do that for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate y'all's support. I know some people, don't like doing that and stuff, which I totally understand. I get it. I'm just trying to help people have less hurdles when starting. Because when I started, it
Yeah.
was a lot of hurdles to get over and hard to get information. And at the time, Facebook was being really difficult with the word kratom. They were, man, in early 2019, I found a group. It was great getting all this info. And then all of a sudden, Facebook got real strict. And then at one point, they deleted the account. And this had tens of thousands of people.
Was
I'm
that
like,
the
wait a minute.
NACU, Britt? That the old original NACU?
Not that one. I
Oh,
learned
man.
about it from Stephanie Sue. No, this was a different one. But it turned out that was like a common thing. And here I'm new, and I'm like, where'd the group go? I'm getting all this information from there. So I just want to make things easier for people. And if it's as simple as me just sharing the different vendors that I purchase from,
Absolutely.
I'm happy to
Mhm.
do that. Let me pull the page real quick. So it's on my website at cramestoriespodcast.com. I have a vendors page, and it's really grown over the years because I've built some really great relationships with brands that I buy from. I get to know them first, and I buy their products, and I ask them all if I could have a coupon code, because why not help people in our community save a few bucks? So, I mean, if anybody thinks you get rich,
And who doesn't love
having an
that?
affiliate code is
Exactly.
wrong. Like,
No.
but hey, it helps support the efforts, as small as it is. It helps support the efforts. I pay all this stuff out of my own pocket. I've been doing all this for a couple of years now, and just hosting this live stream. The software to do this live stream is not cheap. The hosting for the podcast, all the stuff, the school community is not cheap. But I do it because I feel that strongly. I think this is important, and I've been happy to do it. But it's certainly helpful to get more community support for all these efforts. So I've just been better about, why not get more support from I'm actually thinking about doing something with school. It can be very similar to a Patreon. I don't know if y'all have seen that. School has a new feature now where you can have subscription tiers, and we have our free school community, Kratom Real Talk. But I just don't know if people are interested in wanting to help support all the efforts of all the education and advocacy. But I could certainly set up a tier very much like a Patreon, where like those that want to support, then they get some perks and benefits out of it.
And what they'd be interested in too.
Yeah. So I've been kind of thinking about that a little bit, just not sure yet what exactly to do. But anyway, okay. Well, that's Lori says she relies on those kratom companies. Well, I'm glad you find that helpful, Lori. It's been great getting to meet you through our community, and I appreciate that. So, yeah. And I'm going to have a new unboxing video in a few days with some more products. Super Speciosa. I've been wanting to try. I've been using their green, which one? The green Bali tablets. But I want to try the green Mangda tablets. And it's not 7.0, it's just regular kratom powder. And then some gummies that have been reformulated. They're supposed to taste better. Last time I tried some of their gummies, I didn't like them. But they got some newer ones now, so I'm eager to try to see if I like the flavor of
I
them.
think it's hard to get a good kratom gummy.
Yeah, a lot of gummies have had a interesting
There's one.
taste.
There's one. There's one. I can't believe, like, extracts don't really do anything for me. They don't help. They don't enhance my powder. So I mostly stay away from it, because whenever I've tried liquid extracts, I feel like it's undoing my powder. And then I'm like in massive pain and I don't feel good. But these gummies from EXP Botanicals, they taste really great, but they're actually really helpful for me. Not drastically. I mean, I'm not going to just do an extract only. This is just in addition when I'm having a bad pain day. And I've been having a lot of those lately because weather changes always do that to me. But these are like really big and they're low dose. So the serving size for this is like three gummies. They're huge. So I've been trying these. I really like them. Let me show you how big these are. These are like really big. And you don't have to cut them up into little pieces because they're real potent. So I really like these as just, on my bad pain, so kind of doing that a little bit. But I'm always eager to try some of these other products because you don't know unless you try. Just like how reds never help me get sleepy or relax and doesn't do enough pain relief. It may be a little bit, but not enough. I can't do a whole dose, my normal 5 grams-ish, 2 teaspoons. I can't do a whole thing of red or even half of a red because like half red, half green, like it's not enough for the pain for me. But of course, everybody always has a brand. This one will work. This one will work. So I'm always open-minded, and I've tried these different ones. And actually, the closest one I will say was a Happy Hippo one. They have this slow rainbow. It's like a higher mint red.
I've had that. I think I've had that one. It's good.
I thought that's one I will try because I know I do better with the higher mitts. I think that's why greens work so well on me, especially the higher mitt greens. And I thought this one might work. So what I've been experimenting with for a while now is because in my evening dose, I'll take I always like to experiment. Can I do a half and half? Can I do half green, half of whatever this red is? And I've been able to do that with that one. That's the only one I've ever tried where I could do half and half and I'm not in a lot of pain. But most of the time I regret doing that kind of an experiment because I'm like, oh my God, my back hurts. Why did I do that? I just got to do all greens. But I just want to see what it's like to have a relaxing or good night's sleep with reds that everybody raves about. Never happened to me. And I don't get that with this one, but I just want to see, can I take any kind of red and get enough pain relief that is okay for me to take? So it takes.
Now, are you taking like a fermented red, or are you just taking like a red Ming Da, red and Malay? Like I find as I don't get nothing sedates me. I wish something would knock me out because I get like 3 hours of broken sleep a night and that's about it. But I mean, I find like if I want something that's going to be more of like a relaxing, I'm going to need like a more of like a red, like a red Sumatra type, the really dark fermented reds seem to kind of be chill, or like the Borneo reds. Other than that, nothing else works.
I've tried some of those and still nothing. So really the only thing has been this one Happy Hippo, the rainbow. I think if I understand right, it's like I think it's just like a blend of some really specific reds of theirs, and it's just a higher mid. So I don't know. I'm open-minded to trying different things, so that I feel like there's probably something out there that would be a little more beneficial. But I've never had in my 6.5 years consuming it every day, I've never had any kratom that makes me even slightly sleepy.
Yeah, no, I wish.
When people talk about that, I'm like, oh man, you're so lucky.
Yeah, no, I mean, even like with where I'm at, like we've got like blends geared towards sleep, like knock blend or like Z blends, like, you'd think just hearing those, you're going to go to sleep. And, and it's got like things like passion flower, and, stuff that like other herbs that are supposed to be very beneficial for sleep. And I'm like, bing, wide awake, but, pain relief, it's great. So, I mean, I'd much rather have the pain relief, I guess, right now than the sleep because it's just, this has been my sleep my whole life. So I'm not going to fight, trying to win that one. I'll just, fight the worst battle that I have is with the pain.
That's what I feel too.
That's me too.
Usually as soon as my pain, if something helps my pain, I'm awake because my body says you're not in pain, you go do stuff.
Well, yeah, because when you're not in pain, you want to be able to enjoy what you have in that moment, because it's whether it be, 10 minutes that you can, take a shower and just, be okay. Or we've been able to go to like graduations and sit on bleachers for 3 hours, which I never would have been able to make it through before. And that was only 3 weeks into my kratom journey. And that, so to me, I was like, I was definitely sold. I was like, all right, this little leaf that does all this. I'm like, okay, it really does.
I just went and made a tea. This is the only red that's ever offered me some pain relief as far as like greens are usually better. This is the red tie.
Oh,
Okay.
I do love a red tie.
Yeah, the red tie, I enjoy that. And this one is from Totten Bay.
Oh, yes.
So,
I have that one as well. That is very good. That
nice,
is very good.
nice.
Yes, yes. I
And I have
I
that
love
while we're
Ton
sitting
Bay.
here.
I love them.
Nice.
I was lucky enough. I got to meet Becca and I got to meet, Veronica,
Yay!
back like I think it was like 2016, 2017, up in Concord, and I think we met like Dave Herman from, the AKA and Mac, and it was, and we were all rallying together then. So I, got to meet some of them, and I was kind of bummed that Becca's not feeling better, any better. So I hope she feels good. Like right now, life is like, I've heard from a lot of us who deal with a lot of chronic pain, like today seems to be like a day that we're all kind of going, okay, wait, it's changing. Cause the last couple of weeks have been rough.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks have been really rough. Like, even, and I know everybody knows, Dijon, she said the same thing yesterday. She's like, I'm finally getting a break in my pain today. And it's nice. It's nice.
I don't know what's going on in the world. I thought it was just me until Amanda, you had posted in one of the messenger groups I'm in something about the massive pain and like what's going on, like something's going on. And I'm like, oh my God, it's not just me. And weren't you the one that mentioned like that the electromagnetic with
yeah,
like the
oh yeah, we're
lights?
all feeling it.
And I'm like, that's when it started for me a few days ago, was when that happened with the Northern Lights. I'm like, this has been the craziest thing. I totally forgot to talk about it because I feel better today. I woke up several days ago. It was the start of the whole Northern Lights, and I didn't get to see it, even though it came to Texas. But I live it came all the way down just north of Houston. I was so bummed. They said, we're not going to see it, but not too far north of us, they got to see it. It's like,
I got to see a little for the first time. Like I was out there like freezing. It was 28 degrees outside and I'm out there freezing. My poor boyfriend comes in and
that's like bucket lights.
He's inside my house. I come back in and I'm like, hi. And I stick my cold hands. He's like, oh Lord. But I got some pretty cool pictures. And I was, it was the first time I was able to see it for myself. And I'm out here, in New Hampshire in the sticks trying to find it. And it was the first time I got to see it. So it was worth the freezing, the pain. Oh, you got to think though, it's like the moon effects, the tide, and we are a lot of water in our bodies. So you got to think, a lot of, the climate, what's going on affects us physically.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm always affected by weather changes. Like if all of a sudden we're sitting here, and this has happened plenty of times here, I just don't say anything. All of a sudden my back will just be killing me. I can hardly sit up straight. And I'm like, oh, let me go look at the weather app on my phone and see when a storm is coming. Sure enough, it'll show a storm is coming anywhere between like a few hours from now or even all the way till tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
a couple days.
It's like, I knew it. There's a storm coming because I feel it. And that happens to me about, I would say 70% of the time with changing weather, a storm's coming and I will feel it ahead of time before I check, and I'll look at the weather app and I'm like, well, there it goes. And those flare-ups only usually last about an hour or two for me. They're not like an all day or multiple day. But what I've been dealing with this week, which has been so debilitating, has not happened in my 6.5 years taking Kratom. And it's this brought me back to old days, and I was miserable. So what started my whole pain journey was first started with a herniated disc 20 years ago. And over time, everything got more chronic. I developed other herniated disc and my spine is just in very bad shape. And then my neck started in 2012. So I got the double whammy. My MRIs looks awful. The x-rays, everything looks bad. So I used to get these terrible flare-ups. The degenerative disc or the herniated disc, I was going to have surgery like 20 years ago. I ended up not doing it because over time it got better because I just stopped bending and lifting, and I was so busy with my work I couldn't even do it for months anyway because I was traveling. And I told the surgeon, I said, well, we're going to have to wait. I think I was going to have to wait like 3 months or something. But because I stopped bending and lifting and doing all the things I shouldn't have been doing, it got better slowly over time. So by the time I was supposed to do the surgery, I told the doctor, I said, I don't think I need to do the surgery. I'm feeling better. So he agreed and I didn't do it. But he said, you'll get occasional flare-ups. So don't be surprised if all of a sudden you're in debilitating pain and you got to be laid up. And sure enough, for years, about 3 or 4 times a year, some random thing I'm doing. One time it was making the bed, and I'm not doing anything different, but it's that one time the way you turn or move, and all of a sudden you're laid up because you cannot move. You've messed up your back. It happened with me getting out of my car once. I literally got out of my car and it's like, oh my God, my back. And it would put me laid up for days, and I would take pain pills. This is before I took meds daily. This was before my daily pain management. And I found if I was laid up, I'd be like on the couch all day with my laptop. I don't know how I did this. I'd still be working with my laptop, but I'd be laying on the couch with my legs propped up on a cushion so I could get the weight off of my back. And I would take pain pills. And after about 3 days of pain pills and just being laid up, I would feel better slowly. And I just had to live with that because I didn't want to do the surgery. And then over time, I didn't get the flare-ups as often, but it was something I always had to deal with from time to time. All those years I was in pain management, that would happen too. Kratom has not happened since. This has not happened to me since 2019. I think the last time before that was maybe a year or so before I started Kratom, because it's been a long time. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot what it's like to just can't even just sit up straight. You can't even walk. I have a very active dog, an Alaskan Siberian Husky. She wants her walk. She doesn't care. And the whole time, go slow, go slow. I'm walking so slow, going up and down curbs. Horrible. But I mean, I will do it. That's just how I am. So I do all the things, but I'm like, oh my God, I forgot what it's like to live with this kind of pain, because I don't normally feel that way with Kratom. But like, what's going on in the universe so that I'm having this kind of pain to begin with? So it makes sense, Amanda.
Yeah, we're supposed to get rain here. As I'm a little wiggly here. My lower back is like a little achy, and I'm like, yeah, once it rains, once the rain comes, it'll subside. But I'm like, oh, and yeah, sure enough, we're getting rain here later this afternoon.
Yeah, so interesting how we get these aches and pains and all these different things. Well, but I am feeling a little bit better today. But I was wondering, like, can I sit for this whole thing? But I've been doing fine. We've been here for an hour and a half now, and I mean, I'm always going to wiggle around. That's just, my back is not always 100%, but I have to kind of reposition. This next video, okay. So before we were talking about 7-OH and like, people need time to transition if it's being banned. Like Florida has outright banned it, no warning.
California.
And yeah, California is doing this right now. So one of my friends, Abram from Pure Infinity Botanicals, he's been doing a lot of educational videos for months now. And we played quite a few here because it's so incredibly helpful. Well, his company is based in Florida. They're a Kratom manufacturing company. And he made this really great video as a message to 7-OH users because so many people have lost all access. They don't sell 7-OH. But people are coming to them like, I need something. What do I do? And so there's a big struggle right now. So I wanted to play this video because I thought this was really well done to help people.
What's up, guys? 7-OH users. I'm talking about you guys today. And I'm going to be extremely blunt and direct with you. 7-OH is going away in Florida and in many states that have passed the KCPA or Kratom Consumer Protection Act. They've already done away with 7-hydroxynitrogenate products. I really want to speak bluntly to you guys because I'm getting more calls, emails, and questions from users of 7-OH, and I'm doing my best to help, and I'm only doing a small part because our reach is so limited. Kratom contains 7-OH, all Kratom products, and it just doesn't have a lot of it. What I found is that people who started with Kratom and ended up with 7-OH, they know how to go back. But unfortunately, a lot of the people I'm talking to, their first step into Kratom was with 7-OH. And it's really, really unfair to those people that have never experienced Kratom before, that immediately start off with the strongest, most potent format available in the market. And then even worse is without any planning or preparation, regulators in various states did away with it with no notice via emergency action. So there's unfortunately a lot of you guys out there that have been using it every day. You've never had experience with Kratom, or you have, and you have no way to plan or prepare. And what we're seeing here in Florida is absolute revolt. There are a lot of products that are full spectrum extracts. They're tablets. They look like 7-OH. We are working on one of those products as well, but they only contain mitragynine and very, very trace elements of 7-OH. Unfortunately, what's happening in the market is the consumers who are hooked on 7-OH are window shopping. They're going shop to shop to see which smoke shop is daring enough to continue to sell this product, even though it's illegal. They haven't necessarily committed to the idea that they're ready to move on from 7-OH and go back to Kratom. And hell, some people don't even realize what Kratom is. They thought they were taking it this whole time by taking 7-OH. It's been marketed very effectively, albeit unethically, and a lot of people are in a world of hurt right now. So I want to explain something to you guys. 7-OH puts you on your ass. It's the strongest freaking product that you used to be able to buy over the counter in the state of Florida. It's unbelievably strong. It's unethically strong. That doesn't mean that everybody's using it unethically. I've already talked to many number of people who used it sparingly. It had its therapeutic benefits, but it also was extremely potent and it made you feel great for a short period of time. But great is relative to whatever you're into. So for me personally, when I've tried 7-OH, it's not the feeling that I want to feel. It puts me on my ass. It makes me feel slow and lethargic, zombified. I got too much on my plate right now to have any moments of being zombified right now. That doesn't mean that that's not your thing. It seems to have been the thing for a lot of people. So what's been really frustrating for 7-OH consumers is when it's been ripped off the shelves and they go back to a regular Kratom product. Well, guess what? It's not going to do the same thing for you. It's not going to put you on your ass. It's not going to make you feel like a zombie or have that wave of euphoria that you're used to with 7-OH. So your expectations have to be tapered down a little bit. And that's why I'm trying to be blunt with you guys. If you're watching this video and you currently take 7-OH and you want to quit, you're not going to be able to quickly or maybe even ever find a regular full spectrum Kratom product that's going to do the same thing for you. So you have to temper your expectations and understand that right now, if I quit, I might have withdrawal symptoms for 7-OH. And my best bet is full spectrum Kratom that's going to allow me to not have crappy withdrawal symptoms. So I guess my advice to you, and the reason why I'm making this video, is set your expectations appropriately. If you're in a world of hurt right now, Kratom extracts might be your best option. Again, it's not medical advice, but don't expect regular Kratom products or Kratom extracts to do the exact same thing that 7-OH was doing for you, especially if you were looking for that high from 7-OH. Use it responsibly, taper yourself off. This is your best exit strategy. Go from high dose 7-OH to a full spectrum extract of MIT, and then taper your way down to the point where you have a healthy and responsible relationship with Kratom products. That's all we really ever want to push here. Our business suffers by pushing this narrative. It would be much easier for me to tell you that Kratom solves all your problems and cures all your ailments, but it does not. And it's meant to add value to your life, not take it away. And how does it take away value from your life? When you overuse it. So again, the narrative we're always going to have here is use it responsibly. Less is more. And if you're stuck in a situation where you're in Florida and you're looking for 7-OH, you might just need to come to a point of acceptance, go back to a regular Kratom product, and don't expect too much from it because it's not going to rock you the same way 7-OH did. Anyways, as always, thanks for tuning in. I know this is tough and painful for a lot of you guys who love 7-OH products. I'm not necessarily happy to see it go. We didn't really have anything to do with it. We're not lobbying against it. For all of you guys who want to jump down our throats in the comment section, just understand that we play in this market. This is what we're passionate about, and it's definitely not 7-OH. But we want to see you guys get the help that you need if you are struggling with it. So please ask us for help if you need it. We're here for you. Thanks.
What a great video. I like
love
Abram.
that.
He's a
It
good guy.
shows empathy and compassion, and it gives people a choice that are panicking and thinking, and not panicking because they want to get high, panicking because the pain's going to come back. And it gives them a choice and resources. So I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Any other thoughts from you?
Well, I
It was
think it's great.
good.
Just like with Jordan, they're there to help people who are struggling, the people that will not be like my situation or Amanda's, people that, may, for me, it'll be pain. That's what's going to hit me with it. But they're there in case people need that information to do their taper, go down, or whatever they might need to be able to do it. So it was a good video.
Yeah, just good educational information and
Mm-hmm.
just trying to
Very much
be
so.
supportive of
Yeah.
everybody. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
made the good points though with the, coming off of the 7, you're going to need the full spectrum kratom. And just like, people, if you've taken it for coming off of pain medication, or you've taken it for coming off of, high illicit drugs or whatever it is, sometimes some people do start off with a higher dose, and then they find as things start to mellow out and like withdrawal, whatever it is that they're feeling at that time, coming off of the transition from one to the other, your dose gets less. My dose hasn't changed in 8.5 years. I could take 7.0 and then I can go take my kratom, and I'm getting the more relief from the kratom. The longer, when I say more relief, that's, how long is it lasting? How much am I having to take? How much of this is like making, the all over pain subside for the longest amount of time. And that's, majority of the time it's from kratom.
That's awesome. I've been taking the same dose of kratom for 6 years, over 6 years. I've been consuming 6.5 years, but once I got through like the initial and figuring out, I've been at the same amount all these years, but I rotate vendors and
Yeah.
strains, and that's what's
Oh
worked
yeah.
well for me.
Rotation is key. I mean, I've got multiple vendors that I, use as well. I have Happy Hippo on my list as well. I've got Taunton Bay, I've got New Hope. I mean, I've got quite a few vendors, and, my boss has, he gets from other vendors too, because we all need the rotation, rotation is key. And, I find, and a lot of the times, like, we're not hearing about the MIT extracts that's, out right now, like, OPMS, there's a lot of mid extracts there that, that's on the AK list, it's one of their big, their big supporters. And I'm big on the MIT extracts. I personally, like you said, you need the higher MIT to help with your pain. And that's what helps with mine too, so it's like, I find a lot of the kratom now isn't what it was back in like 2016. Like the quality of it isn't what it was. I don't know if it's, the way it's being, high quality, high storage, storage here, the sterilization, the way things that have changed now with the way that, standards are now with, GMP, it's gotten a lot different from when, I first started taking kratom, even the coarse, it's a finer coarse grind than what it used to be, So I add a little mint extract, and that helps the pain even, more than the 7. I find the 7 will give me a little bit of the energy, but
And for me, the extracts don't help me.
yeah,
They just don't put it in. It's not enough to continue taking.
yeah, I can't take it alone.
I have my cushion here. Like if I need it, I have some that was gifted. So I'm very grateful for that gift. And I just don't get the relief from it.
No, I add the extracts to my kratom. Otherwise, I mean, I could take an extract by itself, and I've done that, because I do that with every product I get. I try it first by itself so I can be the best judge of what I can and can't, mix it with if I'm mixing it with a kratom powder. And, I have to. I can't just take an extract. It does not I don't get the results that I need. I'll mix a little bit of my extract with my powder.
This has a dropper to it, and I love the dropper. That way you know what you're doing. But I haven't yet, and I think it was Christopher that had suggested as well, and I haven't yet because I just keep my ding dong sometimes, is maybe adding like 2 or 3 drops to my tea and then taking my tea. And I keep meaning to do that, but I haven't as of yet. It's been separate. So
Same here. He made that comment on one of our chats recently where he said it helps him by enhancing his powder a bit. And I've always done it like in between my dose. I go 6 hours in between. So it's like, oh, I'll just like the extract gummy that I like. I'll take it like in the, like around 2 or 3 in the afternoon before, just to kind of, maybe it'll kind of kick in and give me a little bit more, because it's already wearing off. But I need to try that. I need to try that.
Yeah, me too, because I keep meaning to, and I just keep forgetting because it's probably habit too. Routine,
Absolutely.
habit.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been consuming a long time. You get in your weight.
Get in your
I mean,
but I mean, she said the dropper, and that's smart because you can get a more precise dose with me with the mine's a level teaspoon with my kratom. Anytime I use like my 7.0 powder, it is like, I mean, it's a teeny tiny, like teeny little milligram scoop, and I get out my scale and I'll use it. So I'm weighing it precisely. So I'm not abusing the product, you know, and I do that when I'm adding like the mint extract to my plain kratom leaf too, because that's what's giving me the best relief that I need to get me through the day. And if sometimes I dose 1 time a day, sometimes it's like 4 or 5, you know, depending on what I'm doing, depending on how active I am, because that's, you know, or the weather, because God knows that messes with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You do what works for you. I mean, that's the bottom
That's
line.
right.
And we're all
Very
different.
individualized.
It
Yeah,
really is.
very,
I feel like a broken record telling people that so often, because people reach out and like, what do I take? I have pain. What do I do? And I just say, look, here's my personal experience. And by the way, over on our school community, I have so much information with this in our classroom area. It's all free to join. I have a whole section in the classroom of like my journey. I used to do it as a long email. I used to send people. I'm like, why don't I just put it in school and people can just go through it step by step of all the things that I've learned. But so many times people will see one of my videos on social media and go, oh, I have degenerative disc disease too. What do I take? What do I need to buy? I'm like, it's not quite like that. It affects everybody differently. And it's one of the frustrating things of trying to explain this to people, because I think we're all just so used to a pharmaceutical. You take a pill and that's it. Whereas this is a plant. So you got to figure out dose. You got to figure out which color.
I mean, when it comes down to the
4 hours, you
pharmaceuticals,
know, you have to read the label and do exactly what it says. And I
right?
like this because you can use your intuition too.
Yeah.
Right. Like with the pharmaceuticals, though, it's like, okay, well, you can only take 1 pill every 4 to 6 hours.
Right.
Well, how well was that working for a lot of us? It didn't. You know, so it's like, I know I found, you know, over the years, you know, and I get it. Like customers, they just, you know, they need the relief, they need the help, that, you know, they are just sick and tired of feeling like that, because I've been there, you know, so I can sympathize. But they get so frustrated. They're like, well, I need to know exact dose. And I'm like, well, I can't tell you that. I could tell you what I've tried. I could tell you what's worked for me. I could tell you, you know, hey, like this is, you know, other people, you know, read reviews. This is what works for them. You have to try to do it and see what works for you. You know, like it's all different.
100%. I love this conversation. Amanda, I'm so glad you're on with us today, because you
Me
bring a lot
too.
of value to our discussions. We'll definitely have to have you on more. This next video I have, y'all, is all I'm gonna say is this is crazy. So the title will tell you all we need to know. Here's the title of the video. I interviewed a man who smoked kratom. Yep. Watch this.
Taking a bunch of these capsules, they're about like horse pill size. Like I had taken a bunch and I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, nothing's going on. It's like, all right, well, let's break it down. So I broke it down, fucking loaded up a bowl full of this kratom powder and fucking burned it. Smoked it all. It was a little rough. It didn't really have much of a taste, but it was a little rough.
But do people usually smoke it? I feel like it's usually like people drink it.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get high. I'm just trying to get fucking high. So I was like, whatever gets the fucking bat, right? So I took a bunch and like 30 minutes had passed. I was like, dude, nothing's going on. So I was like, all right, let's fucking break it down. So I broke it down, all these capsules, broke them down into a bowl, and I smoked a bunch of it. I was like, and nothing really had happened, man. I mean, I guess like I felt, a little just maybe lightheaded, just like maybe placebo effect.
Okay.
But
you don't see how it could be addictive.
No, I really can't, because I even tried the rest of it. I think the rest of it I broke it down, but I even tried snorting some. I was like, fuck it, dude. Whatever's going to get me Jones, right? I was like, fuck it, dude. Fucking lay out some line.
That is insane. Oh.
It just, I mean, it clogged me up a good fair amount.
But nothing happened. He got nothing from it. What an idiot.
Similar to heroin, right?
Is it really? I wish.
That's the video.
It probably does with it. It's just somebody that I hate to put somebody who was attempting to get high, wanted to get high, and so the next thing you know, this is going to be also on the news, and it's not even intended to be able to, you know, do that with, but that's a mindset of somebody who's that somebody who would abuse anything that they got their
100%.
hands on.
They'll leave out the
And
part where he says it did nothing. They'll just say, I wanted to get
Yeah.
high,
Oh,
so I
of
did
course.
this. I wanted to get high, so I did this.
And then
But
they'll
it
cut
did
the piece in
nothing.
about the heroin into the new segment. They'll cut that piece in about the heroin into the new segment and then roll it as if, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. Like,
He smoked it and he snorted it.
That was special.
I saw that. I'm
I
like, oh, I
couldn't see
can't wait to show
anybody-
y'all.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anybody even wanting to try to snort. It just doesn't. That would never even cross my mind after maybe choking on it or breathing it in just by accident. You know,
Right? Toss and watch gone wrong.
cocoa. Like it'd be trying to snort like real cocoa or something that would just be
Yeah.
like how would it wouldn't
Yeah.
go nowhere. It would just
Yeah.
wow.
So, I mean, the lengths that people will go to get high, it's like, let's snort kratom, let's smoke kratom, let's break it down, put it in a bowl. Okay. Oh man. So there's all kinds of interesting videos out in the universe about kratom and 7-OH. There's never a short supply. You know, when I started this live stream 2 years ago, I wasn't so sure we'd always have content to look at and talk about. And it's like every week there's so much out there. And there are times where my list will be longer than what we can end up doing because there's just not enough time because we got to talk about all this stuff too. And that takes up time. I still have a few other videos, but I think I'll save them for next week. I think we'll wrap up with, I'm really big with putting educational stuff on my TikToks just to help people. And I get all the time, people will comment in my videos with all kinds of questions. And then I turn around and make a video reply so I can have our community share their thoughts. And this one came in this week. It's not a common question people ask. And I hadn't heard this one come up in a long time, but I was really excited to like, oh, I can talk about this. So a video about stem and vein. You don't hear about that very much. So we've been talking about stem and vein, and Cassie's asking, where do you buy it? Excellent question, and I'm here to answer for you. Of all the different brands on my vendors list, Happy Hippo is the only one I know of that carries it. I definitely recommend looking into it. If you go to their website and go to that page, it has information about it. Plus, you can always contact their customer service. So the link to all my vendors that I personally use myself is in my Linktree link here. So go check that out. If you use code Kratom Stories, you get 15% off. But I definitely recommend that checking out the stem and vein on Happy Hippo's site. They call it Bone Hippo because some people call stem and vein bones because it's basically the stem and the vein of the leaf. So I hope this was helpful. If y'all have any questions, let me know. I'll see you in the next video. I'm such a dork. So yeah, I haven't heard anybody ask about stem and vein in ages. And I tried it a few years ago. Remember who was real popular on YouTube? Joey Talks. Do y'all remember him? He was a real popular YouTuber talking about kratom and then his account got shut down. He had like 30-something thousand subscribers on YouTube. He was a great resource. He was never pushing people to buy kratom and promoting it. He just gave out helpful information. And then one day his account was gone. And I know he was
I remember you
devastated.
talking about it. I never watched
Oh, he was
him,
devastated. I
but
would have
you
been
talking
too.
about it.
Well, not too many companies sell stem and vein, but so he talked a lot about tolerance breaks, and there was always a lot of discussions. And I'm like, I've never needed one, but maybe I should try to do one because it's probably not bad to do a reset. And so many people in the community talk about this, but I've never needed to. Like, oh my gosh, kratom's not working. I know a lot of people say kratom's not working for me like it used to, and they just take a tolerance break. But when you suffer from debilitating chronic pain, it's not so simple because I have to take something.
Yeah.
Like I cannot, the people that can go days, good for you. I'm thrilled for you. I don't know how you do it, Twinkle. I can't and I won't because I would literally be laid up and not be able to do anything at all.
Yeah.
And
it's very difficult to have the other things on hand, make sure the ibuprofen's on hand or the Tylenol, my devil's claw. I mean, I do have to, but I like to just do a clean out, like even this past week, even though it was for other issues. I got through a whole week, you guys, and I didn't have any issues.
Congrats. I know that's not
So,
easy to do. I'm
yeah,
so happy you were able to do that. I just
thank
feel
you.
fortunate I have not been in a position where I had to do it. But I was curious a few years ago, so I bought some stem and vein from Happy Hippo. Because again, I don't know of very many vendors that sell it because it's really like the reject. It's the stem and the vein that normally gets thrown away. So it's not going to be real potent or
So do
anything.
you brew it, or do
Yeah.
you put it, or like how
Just
do you,
make it however you do your regular powder. So I tried it. Joey was suggesting, I remember I had a chat with him about it because he was trying to advise me what to do. And you just I would do both and just slowly make it so it was more stem and vein than the regular powder. But the thing was, I had crazy pain. It didn't even touch my pain. So I stopped using it. So it wouldn't work for me to at least, because some people say that you do get some relief with it because it's just not strong. I'm sure the mit is very, very low. But for those that don't suffer from severe chronic pain, I think a lot of people that do talk about using it are those that use kratom for other reasons, and they were able to use that to taper down and take a break. It seems to be more common with that. But I don't know. Amanda, do you know a lot about it? You've been in the industry a long time.
Like with the stem and vein, I mean, I use it kind of like I am out now, which kind of sucks because you don't find it much these days, which it's a shame. But I would use mine a lot for like breakthrough, like in between pain, or you just kind of sip on it throughout the day. But for me, I mean, a lot of people do use it, for tolerance breaks, just so they have something. So it kind of does keep that, like, the little irritable feeling that you might feel from it. Me, like, worst thing I get is my pain's there and I might feel a little sniffly. Other than that, that's all I get when I take a break. But like you, I haven't needed a tolerance break. Even when I took that month off, when I had my hysterectomy, I was like, oh, well, I'll be able to start less, well, no, because my dose has been the same this whole time. It's not changed. So even the tolerance break for me was kind of like, wow, okay, so I just sat here in pain for a while. That's what really happened. Yeah.
Now I could tell, so I just went and so today was the first day that I had any of the tea again. You guys saw I brought in the red Thai. I only drank maybe a couple ounces off of it so far, and I actually felt something from it. I mean, not a buzz, not anything like that, but I instantly, within 10 minutes, felt a little, no, you know what? It almost was like I had a little bit of kava. So not sedation or not, I don't know how to describe it, but I don't think I would have felt that had I not gone a whole week. And this is just tea, so I did. So hopefully, I'm just saying that maybe my tea will work more efficiently for me again, because I'm still usually always about a 7 on the pain scale anyway.
Yeah.
As long as I can avoid, I call them the crazy 8s, where, I mean, 7's already not an easy level to be at, but I just try to keep myself, I don't want no 8s or 9s or 10s is what I'm trying to say. And then, but maybe, my tea will work a little bit better. I don't know if that's why people take the breaks. They say with a tolerance, and so on. But I just do it to clean myself out, to do like a detox. So
Yeah. Well, Michael says the
we'll
main
see.
point of stem and vein is to not have withdrawals when you taper, for those that are using that. Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. That's probably like if I had to stop and taper down and not go through withdrawals, I guess. But I was having pain, so I'm like, okay, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But we all learn from each other. That's what's so great. We have a great
Mhm.
community. Everybody's so
I love
helpful.
it.
I appreciate
Yes.
all those that are live in the comments sharing their thoughts, because it's super helpful to everyone. I love this. I love our community. I love this. Well, we've been here for 2 hours. I think we covered enough for one day. We've all been sitting here a long
Okay.
time. Amanda, I'm so glad you were able to join us today.
Thank
Oh,
you,
I know.
Amanda.
Life has been chaotic and crazy. Now that like summer's kind of died down, it's like life is kind of chill for me, so I'm able to do a little bit more, which is nice. I can fit things in, so I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me on. It's been fun. I mean, I would totally do this again. This has been a blast.
Oh, we'd love to have you back because you definitely had a lot to add to the conversation, and it was really helpful getting your thoughts on 7-OH, being that you consume both Kratom and 7-OH, and just hearing these perspectives is just helpful to everybody.
Yeah. Definitely is.
So it's been great. Well, I think we'll wrap up with Living the Kratom Life song. I haven't played this one in a while. I know I've been doing that anthem song because it's just, I don't know, we've been so fired up. I feel chill today. I feel like this is just a chill closeout. So I think we'll just play Living the Kratom Life. We'll be back next Saturday. Hopefully we'll be back on my regular YouTube channel. I hate that my YouTube channel. I'm sure people went looking for it today. It seems like the bulk of the people, we have a lot of people on YouTube. I think they're on yours, Venus's, because they're certainly not on my backup account. My little backup account only has 16 subscribers. I just started it last Saturday, and it wasn't enough time to live stream, but now I can live stream. Yeah, there's nobody in here but me. But that's okay. I appreciate you putting it out to yours, Venus, and I know Christopher is too. And I know people are watching on X. I don't know why we never see comments from X, but we've had a lot of people watching over on X. So,
and I shared it over on X as well off of
thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sierra, I'm glad this community has helped you. And we appreciate you so much. Thank you all for hanging out with us for a few hours. It's always a fun time here. Yeah, we always have a great time. Amanda, I'll definitely let you know when we have another opening because we'd love to have you back. Don't y'all agree, gals? It was great having you.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
Great conversation.
And I'm sending love to Becca. Hopefully she's feeling better. So, and definitely for Amanda back.
Yeah, for sure. All right, y'all. Well, have a great rest of your day. We'll be back next Saturday.
Bye,
and
everyone.
Come join us on school. You know, we got our Sunday, our Kratom Real Talk support group. It's like a Zoom, but it's private over on school. So come join us over there. That's always fun. So yeah, thanks for hanging out. We'll see y'all next time.
See you next time.
See y'all.
Hasta luego.
Yeah.
Woke up today feeling light. Grab my blend, ready for flight. Green mango, it's my start. Red barley to calm my heart. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. White flame when I need the drive. It's the power that makes me thrive. Mix it up, I found my way. Living the kratom life every day. From dawn to dusk, I'm feeling free. With every leaf from the kratom tree, I take my dose, I feel alive. Yeah, I'm living the kratom life. Oh, I'm living the kratom life. So wild, every day I'm feeling revived. Capsules packed with nature's glow. Herbal realm, you already know. You already know. When the day is long, I feel the strain. I know that kratom eases the pain. So I take my blend and I rise. With herbal realm, I touch the skies. Oh, I'm living the strength.